Every 3 minutes, somewhere a senior adult collapses into a silent health crisis that they are completely unaware of. It's a sobering statistic that highlights how many elderly lives are quietly slipping away without warning, and the root causes often stem from the most ordinary parts of their daily routine. One common breakfast habit, considered harmless and even beneficial, is the consumption of a bowl of instant oatmeal. For many seniors, this steaming dish symbolizes a quick, warm, and healthy start to the day. They believe they are nourishing their bodies with fiber and antioxidants, unaware that lurking inside those familiar packets are ingredients capable of setting off a deadly domino effect. The instant oatmeal packets are riddled with refined sugars and preservatives that aren't visible to the naked eye, but their impact on health is profound. When a senior pours boiling water over these tiny processed flakes and digests it, they're unknowingly feeding their bodies a concentrated dose of high glycemic index carbohydrates. The immediate effect is a rapid spike in blood sugar levels, causing their insulin response to surge wildly. This relentless cycle of sugar highs and lows occurs with each morning's breakfast. Over weeks and months, this pattern begins to wreak havoc on their tiny blood vessels, especially those in sensitive organs like the eyes and kidneys. Microvascular damage starts subtly, often with no noticeable symptoms, but it is gradually and relentlessly progressing beneath the surface. Tiny vessels in the eyes become fragile and prone to bleeding, leading to vision problems that may seem minor at first, but can escalate into blindness. The tiny blood vessels in the kidneys suffer from high blood pressure and microvascular injury, impairing their filtering capacity. Over time, these silent damages accumulate, setting the stage for devastating health crises. As the damage intensifies, the consequences become more severe. Blood vessels, weakened from constant sugar-induced stress, start to leak or become blocked, reducing blood flow to vital organs. The kidneys, overwhelmed by the damage, may develop protein leaks, leading to renal failure in some cases. The eyes, with their delicate capillaries, start showing signs of hemorrhage, and the seniors may experience blurred vision or even sudden blindness, often mistaken initially for normal aging. The internal vascular damage doesn't stop there. It directly contributes to the hardening of arteries, causing increased blood pressure, and sets the stage for a more dangerous progression towards heart attacks or strokes. This process is insidious, often silent, and characterized by a gradual deterioration of health that many seniors attribute to age rather than dietary choices. This ongoing assault on the blood vessels can culminate in catastrophic events. A sudden heart attack can strike without warning, or a stroke can occur during routine activities, leaving families devastated. The scary part is that most seniors are unaware of how a simple breakfast habit can be driving their bodies toward this breaking point. Their daily routine, which seemed benign, turns into an internal ticking time bomb sealed within their arteries and organs. This is why understanding the dangers hidden inside a humble bowl of instant oatmeal is crucial. Its high sugar content and rapid digestion set off a chain of events that can lead to sudden, irreversible death. Fortunately, there's a straightforward and effective way to break this dangerous cycle. Replacing instant oatmeal with a hearty bowl of soaked old-fashioned oats is a simple, powerful change. Soaking the oats overnight in water for at least 12 hours at room temperature or in the refrigerator reduces the starch's glycemic index significantly. The next morning, seniors can top their soaked oats with a handful of fresh berries, a teaspoon of ground flax seeds, and a sprinkle of cinnamon. This combination stabilizes blood sugar levels, provides anti-inflammatory nutrients, and supports healthy blood vessel function. Consuming this natural alternative keeps blood sugar levels steady for hours, reducing the risk of microvascular damage and protecting vital organs from the silent injury that can lead to death. Weeks later, without any apparent warning, the small vessel damages accumulated from the days of high sugar intake began to violently erupt into full-blown health crises. The microvascular injuries, initially silent and often invisible to the person experiencing them, suddenly flare up. Doctors have seen this pattern repeatedly. Tiny blood vessels in the brain and kidneys, weakened and fragile from relentless microtrauma, now rupture. An elderly individual might suddenly feel a dizzy spell that lasts less than a minute, then dismiss it as normal age-related dizziness. But in truth, this is a warning sign. Blood pressure readings taken during such episodes often skyrocket well above the normal range of 120/80, sometimes reaching as high as 180/120, signaling an imminent danger. Sometimes these dangerous surges are accompanied by unexplainable blurred vision, ringing in the ears, or sudden weakness on one side of the body. Sadly, many ignore these signals, attributing them to fatigue or feeling off because they are unaware of the silent damage progressing within their blood vessels. If these warning signs are overlooked, a devastating stroke can occur unexpectedly, incapacitating the sufferer in a matter of moments. The stroke strikes suddenly, without warning, often during routine activities like walking across a room or even while resting in bed. Family members may find their loved ones unresponsive or unable to speak, with paralysis or severe neurological deficits. The shock reverberates through families, leaving a trail of grief and questions. The damage was silently mounting beneath the surface, and now the consequences are irreversible. The critical reality is that the microvascular injury is a ticking internal time bomb, and ignoring warning signs only accelerates its destructive path. Medical professionals emphasize the importance of recognizing these early symptoms. Persistent dizziness lingering beyond a few seconds, abrupt changes in vision that don't resolve, or blood pressure consistently exceeding normal levels despite medication adjustments. Immediate action, including gentle lifestyle modifications and a strict regimen to reduce the impact of blood sugar spikes, could delay or even prevent this progression. The advice from many doctors involves checking blood pressure twice daily with a digital cuff at home, aiming to keep readings consistently below 140/90. Using gentle, constant monitoring and recording the numbers can help identify dangerous spikes early. Eliminating processed foods and sugars entirely from the morning routine, replacing them with soaked oats topped with berries and a teaspoon of flax seeds, supports healthy blood flow. Drinking at least 8 ounces of cold, filtered water with a half teaspoon of apple cider vinegar once every morning also helps regulate blood pressure and improve vessel flexibility. These small but powerful measures can hold back the rising tide of arterial inflammation that lays the groundwork for catastrophic events. But the true dangers lie ahead, as sustained inflammation paves the way for even more sinister threats lurking inside the arteries, waiting to strike at their most vulnerable moment. The moment when danger transforms into tragedy often strikes silently, catching even the most vigilant seniors unaware. Many pass away peacefully in their sleep or during routine daily tasks, their hearts suddenly seizing due to a massive blood clot or catastrophic tear in an artery. Their bodies might seem to be functioning perfectly moments before catastrophe, making it difficult for loved ones to comprehend that fatal damage had been quietly mounting inside for years. These internal disasters originate from the ongoing damage inflicted by decades of consuming the same seemingly harmless breakfast, specifically processed white oatmeal. Underneath its warm, inviting appearance, this common morning staple disguises a silent killer that gradually erodes the integrity of blood vessels, setting the stage for lethal cardiovascular events. Over time, tiny microvascular injuries accumulate, weakening arterial walls and promoting the formation of dangerous blood clots. These clots don't develop overnight. They are the result of consistent, unnoticed damage that severe internal injuries have created years earlier. The reminding truth lies beneath the surface, where blood vessels become brittle, inflamed, and prone to sudden rupture or clot formation. When such an event finally occurs, it often results in an instant cardiac arrest or stroke, leaving no room for medical intervention that might save the victim. The tragedy deepens when families are told autopsy results reveal these deaths originated from internal damage that had been silently building for decades. The internal arteries containing a high burden of microvascular injuries and hardened plaques became ticking time bombs. It's a revelation that shocks many, how something as ordinary and benign as a breakfast food could be responsible for such tragic, irreversible outcomes. The evidence laid bare in countless autopsies shows plaque buildup, arterial tears, and thrombosis directly linked to years of relentless sugar spikes and microvessel weakening. These internal injuries are the results of consistent high glycemic diets, which stimulate chronic inflammation and damage fragile blood vessel linings. These silent toxins and microtears gradually turn into full-blown blockages or arterial ruptures that end lives suddenly. But there's a curiously simple and accessible solution that can thwart this deadly cycle. Transitioning away from the deceptive bowl of instant oatmeal toward natural, blood sugar stabilizing foods can make a profound difference. Incorporate soaked old-fashioned oats prepared the night before by covering half a cup of oats with 8 ounces of filtered water at room temperature or in the refrigerator, leaving them to soak for at least 12 hours. This soaking process reduces the starch's glycemic index by nearly 50%, preventing rapid blood sugar spikes. The next morning, heat the soaked oats gently in a pot at low heat for about 3 minutes until warm. Then top with a handful of fresh mixed berries, such as blueberries, which contain antioxidants and anthocyanins proven to reduce inflammation, adding a teaspoon of ground flaxseeds for omega-3 fatty acids, and sprinkling a pinch of cinnamon to further improve blood sugar regulation. Consuming this meal allows for a slow, steady release of sugars over several hours, keeping blood glucose levels comfortably below 140 milligrams per deciliter for at least 4 hours after eating. Drinking 8 ounces of cold filtered water with half a teaspoon of raw, unfiltered apple cider vinegar directly after waking up can further aid blood vessel flexibility and lower blood pressure spikes. Replacing processed, high-sugar carbs with these natural choices constantly minimizes the internal stress on arteries, reducing the risk of rupture, clot formation, and microvascular decay that leads to sudden cardiac death or strokes. These small but crucial changes can halt the progression of silent internal injuries and prevent the devastating moments when life suddenly ends without warning. Implementing precise steps, such as soaking oats for at least 12 hours at room temperature or refrigerated below 55 degrees Fahrenheit, controlling the temperature and timing to ensure proper enzymatic breakdown, provides an evidence-based, practical approach to safeguarding health. Such targeted dietary modifications are not only simple but also accessible, transforming everyday routines into powerful defenses against the slow, invisible killers lurking inside the vulnerable bodies of seniors.